Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and in this video, I'm going to be having a conversation with MrLlamaSC, who is one of the best Diablo 2 players and content creators, to get his perspective on how the Diablo 2 community feels about Diablo Immortal, and if he is going to be playing Diablo Immortal when it launches and stuff like that. The footage you will be seeing in the background is a friend of mine, Omni, who was kind enough to show me some of the footage that he had from playing PvP at a high level, was able to hit rank 1 a few different times on the PvP ladder. So that'll be the footage in the background while I am chatting with MrLlamaSC. Well, let's get into it. Alrighty, now joined by MrLlama. Been a while since I caught up with you there. How you doing?
Good. How you doing? Good to be here.
Oh, busy, on the grind for Diablo Immortal, ready to launch, and I thought it'd be fun to get a full-time Diablo 2 player's perspective on the pulse of like the Diablo 2 community and how you and some of your fellow players that are on the Diablo 2 scene, how they're feeling about Diablo Immortal. Are they excited about it? Are they not going to play it? Questions you might have about it. Things like that, because here on my channel right now, mainly kind of covering Diablo Immortal. But firstly, how has D2 been going? I know you probably been waiting 20 years for Diablo 2 Remastered, and it's finally here. So how's that all been going?
I mean, it's been great. I didn't even know that D2 would get remastered, honestly, for until a couple years ago there, or a year ago, whatever it was. So, just love it. It's been absolutely fabulous. It's brought a lot of people back to the community. There's a ton of great things about it. There's still some changes I'd love to see. Still some like lobby fixes and stuff like that I think would really improve the game. But overall, for a remaster, I think they did a great job. So, I'm super happy with D2R.
Yeah, sure. A lot of remasters have kind of been received really negatively, but Diablo 2 Remastered was mostly pretty good. Took maybe a little bit long to get a ladder out, and yeah, like you said, some little things, but yeah, all in all, it's been one of the better remasters, I think. And I saw you were like second to get to level 99, so that's pretty exciting on the first ladder. Has the first ladder been pretty good?
Yeah. I mean, that happened, I guess it was April 28th that it launched. So we're almost a month into it. And yeah, I mean, I grinded for, the first 9 to 10 days there for 99. Was super happy with that. Had a great time. And then I've just been bouncing in and out, doing a little bit here and there, doing some PvP stuff, having fun, just, running around, rushing people and doing different things, and then of course doing my single player stuff. But yeah, I think the ladder's going really well, so I think a lot of people are enjoying it. Still some problems with bots and the stuff that's always been an issue for Diablo 2, but that's just nothing new there, right?
Yeah, I know how it goes for sure. I've been a Diablo player forever. But so as we transition to Diablo Immortal, what's your first kind of thoughts in terms of how you've been thinking? I'm sure you know a little bit about it and stuff like that. What's your general kind of overarch thinking process about thought process about Diablo Immortal?
Yeah, so I played Diablo Immortal in one of the closed betas or the alpha, something like that. I mean, I also played when they first announced it. I played the demo at BlizzCon. And then I played another couple of times. I mean, overall, the game plays very well. I think it functions very well. It's a decent mobile ARPG game, right? That's still ultimately what it is, and I feel like the part that is unfortunate to me is it feels like a lot of mobile ARPG games have a lot of similarity, right? They function in a very similar manner, and so it feels like a lot of them don't quite have a ton of unique personality. I don't know if Diablo Immortal's brought that in or not yet. So that would be my biggest thing to really go and see is, does it feel like there's more personality brought into it, or does it feel like I can pick it up, put it down, and just pick up another one and go, yeah, this is very same idea, right? The spells kind of look and feel the same. The whole layout looks and feel the same, all that stuff. I think there's kind of that question that I would have, with it coming down the pipe now. And then, of course, I think regardless of that, you have all of the like story and all of those pieces, which I think is going to be the biggest point of it. Is how is the game overall design built out? Is it going to be a good game with good in-depth, fun playthrough, difficulty, all of that stuff, right? Like if I can go and actually have some difficulty playing through the game and there be some hard, mobs to fight and bosses, and I have to go and farm some bosses and get some gear and go back and that sort of stuff, I think that could be fun to me, and something that could improve it overall for someone like myself and people that have a similar mindset, more of the kind of D2 grinders, I would say.
Did the PC client being announced as an official thing change your opinion at all about the game?
I wouldn't say it changed my opinion about the game, but I do think it was a smart choice. I think it opens up more opportunity because for a lot of us, we don't want to play on the phone, right? I mean, I think that's a big thing. I like the keyboard and mouse. I like playing on the big screen, and it's just like playing with just my thumbs on just the little phone. Just like it just doesn't feel great. My arms get tired of holding the phone. My thumbs get tired from like moving so much, and they start to get sore. Like I'm old, like I don't know the phone games. I feel
all
like
of us gamers are in our 30s now. That that we
exactly,
grew up playing Diablo 2.
Yeah, so I'm a mouse and keyboard kind of guy. So I do think it was a really good move to bring it to PC because now it's like I think a lot of people who wouldn't have ever touched it before will at least give it a play. They'll play it through once. Some of them will enjoy it, get hooked on it, really like it a lot. Some of them might not like it all, might stop, but I think a lot of people will just be like, perfect. I wanted some story between Diablo 2 and Diablo 3. This has a nice kind of piece through there, and I'm enjoying it. So I think that was a really smart move on their part to do so.
Yeah, for me, who grew up as like a StarCraft player and really a PC gamer, when it really piqued my interest when I saw that it had an official. I'm not gonna have to worry about emulators and stuff like that. I was like, okay, I can actually use my. That was a big deal for me personally. So I was wondering if some of the D2 grinders, if that really, are you getting any wind in the Diablo 2 scene? Are people excited about trying it, or is it pretty meh?
I think. It definitely has increased since the PC, especially being announced. The amount of interest in the game has increased, and like I said, the amount of people that said, "Well, since it's on PC, I'll at least try it," or sorry about that, or I'll at least play through the game once and get the story, or I'll at least do this with it. I think that has actually come about. However, I'd still say overall, people still go, it's still a mobile game at heart, and so I'm not like crazy interested in it. I think that's still the overall feel of the community. From that is just like mobile games built like mobile games, still has pay to win aspects in it, still has these sorts of things, and I think that's a big turnoff for kind of the general crowd around here at least.
See, and that perspective from like Diablo 2 players and Path of Exile players does kind of confuse me a little bit, because can't you pay to win in both those games technically? Like, can't I go spend $50,000 on Forum Gold and buy absolutely everything I want? So like, isn't it still there?
It is and it isn't. I mean, it is in a way of like, you are correct. I mean, that's not like officially, a thing. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's against TOS to actually use JSP and anything like that. So every single game or any game with online has some presence where people are selling stuff for money, and you can always go in and do that. When it's officially like brought in by the developers and they're like, hey, we'll sell you this to improve your gear, it just has a worse kind of feel, I think, overall. And then additionally, I think there's a big difference because gear in Diablo 2 kind of really starts to like, it's asymptotic. And so it starts to really, like drop off.
Diminishing returns type of thing?
Yeah, you have a diminishing returns. And so the difference between, a high-end piece of gear and one that you could spend $500 on, it's an increase, but like power level doesn't increase a ton more. Like, I can build a character really easy and cheap, like a Hammerden that does like 14 to 15k hammers, and he's got, his Enigma and some basic combo skillers and whatever things. You can build a Hammerden that does like 17k, 18k hammers, whatever is the max, and spend way more. And it's like the difference is a little bit of, whatever. Whereas from what I've heard from people who beta tested and stuff, in Diablo Immortal, gear differences are much larger. And so it's like you would have to, you could spend tons and tons of cash to get gear that just puts you so far ahead, and above anybody else, that it probably the only people you're competing against are also people that are dumping all that money in. But you kind of crush everyone else. So money can really start to replace skill a lot of times, I think, is where it starts to get a little iffy for me and for a lot of people. But at the same time, it's also when it's coming from Blizzard directly in the game directly. And then with that also comes like, how are they going to push it? Because that's one thing when I'm like playing Diablo 2, there's not like pop-ups that are like, get a deal now on JSP Forum Gold, like right now, whatever stuff. And will there be those sorts of things? To me, it's always just annoying whenever I'm playing a game and then I get pop-ups in the game. Even like Path of Exile, when it pops up and it's like, oh, there's new like stash tabs are half off and these sorts of things. I'm like, I'm just trying to be immersed in the game and play the game. I don't want to be like marketed to constantly while I'm just trying to enjoy the game.
Okay. Yeah, it's interesting to hear your perspective. I do think maybe some of that's a little bit overblown because you get like big YouTubers making these videos with their clickbait thumbnails about pay to win and like, but because they do have some mechanics in the game that are going to scale back the gear difference, but we'll have to see. I mean, of course, it's always going to have an element of like, if you can buy anything, all these games, if you're rich enough and you want to spend enough, you can get something even on Path of Exile or whatever. But yeah, so I know that we're kind of up against it tonight. But the last thing I wanted to ask you about was like, do you think you're going to play it yourself? Like, are you going to dive in and try it?
Yeah, I'll dive in. I feel like just being so involved in Diablo overall, I feel like I at least have to dive in and try it, and it may be a game I end up enjoying. It may be a game I don't enjoy at all. I don't really know. My thoughts right now kind of going in, I'm trying to not be too negative on it. I recognize there is the pay to win aspect of it, but at the same time, it seems like maybe that's going to be more towards like the PvP section. And in PVM, like if the game is built really well and it's not, you're not needing to like pay to kind of like advance through that, then that seems like, okay, that could be fine. And then, it kind of has more of a Diablo 3 look feel to it. And so that's like one other concern I have is, will it be too much Diablo 3 and, in my opinion, a little like too easy? Not really have the difficulty of like getting stunned and getting put in hit recovery and being surrounded by monsters and unable to escape. Like, I like those sorts of things in a game because it adds difficulty. And so I do have worry if they make too much of that stuff like too easy and it's just kind of more like push buttons and blow everything up. So if the game does have some difficulty and stuff though, I think I'd be excited to jump in for sure. I mean, I'll definitely at least give a look and play through, but how far I end up taking it and playing will probably be, just based on how that PVM experience is.
Okay, cool. Thanks for the insight, and maybe sometime in the future we can touch base again, and like either before launch or after launch, and get your thoughts on what you thought about it, because I'd like to kind of chat with you a little bit when we have more time and we're not both up against the clock here. But yeah, I appreciate you taking the time to stop by the channel and give me your Diablo 2 perspective on Diablo Immortal's launch.
Yeah, of course. No, I mean, hopefully, if there's some good team stuff, maybe we can do some stuff as well while it's rolling out. I mean, I'm sure you'll be going crazy with it and stuff. So,
oh yeah, we've got a whole gosh, we're up to like 1,000 people already that are ready to just get after it. So it's gonna be and we're not even within a week of launch yet. So
I know, goodness.
All right, man.
Good
thanks.
luck with all that. Yeah.
We'll see you soon.
I appreciate it. Catch you later.
Yeah.
Peace.
Alrighty, so huge thanks to MrLlamaSC for taking the time to join me when both of our schedules were packed here, but we were able to at least get a quick collab in, and hopefully we'll be able to do this again and have a longer conversation. But I will link to his channel down below. If you play Diablo 2 or you're a Diablo fan in general, his channel is one of the best to subscribe to. He's been doing it for a very long time at a very high level, and that is going to do it for this one. So as always, thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.